Hello and welcome
to another
of the famous
episodes
by the Lume.
Yes.
Yes. So
Something along those lines.
We are back. And we are back with a very interesting episode.
Mm-hmm. Your idea, this episode.
The realistic episode. Yes. It's like we are talking about something which is for us in the watch bubble, and we are deliberately excluding watch meetups in this, but we wanted to talk about watches we actually see in the wild.
Yeah. So not on Instagram, not on, YouTube, but actually see, and not at watch meetups either. I think, we could talk about those, but it should be, if you go to Carrefour, what do you see? Kind of that's the level of stuff I'm thinking. Or work or wherever, right? In the wild. So that's going to be the topic for today. But before we get into that, of course.
Yes.
Or whist watch check, as Archie Luxury used to say.
Yes.
Before he disappeared.
Is he? I thought he's still around, or is he?
Is he? I haven't seen a video of his in ages.
No, I think it's he became such an acquired taste when he lost his marbles. I think it always was like this, but we had no choice, right? There was not many YouTubers talking about watches, right?
I do have to say that he was the one who single-handedly, back in the day when I started, getting into watches. I told you my first real watch was that Tag Heuer Aqua Racer, and Archie Luxury, and I thought Tag Heuer was like the bee's knees, right? I thought it was awesome.
No, of course.
I didn't know anything. And Archie Luxury had his little ranking, and he was saying that Tag Heuer is shit and it's just a shitter and everything. And I didn't know this, and I was very, deep down inside, I was offended and hurt by this, and it made me reconsider Tag Heuer. And of course, over time, I realized maybe this is not where you should take your advice from.
Full of shit, but yes. I mean, he does have some knowledge, and sometimes he surprises me with his depth of knowledge and his reasonable opinions. But then, sometimes he has these complete rants and I think mental breakdowns.
And what about all this? Everything is a paid sponsorship with him, right? Like you can literally pay him to say anything he wants. He's a puppet.
Yeah. So, and he also does paid reviews of your watch collection. So you basically pay him money, and
he roasts
return, he will insult your watch collection. Yes. So I don't know. It's a bit of a masochistic thing, I think.
It is. You can pay money. I have an idea here, by the way.
On his fridge, right? So he had the fridge. Did you get the small advertising space, and he prints out your whatever? Yeah. So what is on your wrist then? You start today.
So I am wearing a watch I haven't worn in a very long time. Explorer 36. I don't know why. I feel that I have to wear other things besides my Pelagai and my Black Bay, and I have to make a conscious effort to do that. Because of course Zenith is gone on for service, and that would be my. So that would be my Zenith. I noticed that I wore that like every single day. That was my go-to, and now
you seem to really like it. Yeah,
I do.
True.
I love it. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, and what about you?
So I was wearing my Master Control sector dial, JLC, but then I needed to walk the dog and it's hot. So I decided to wear my G-Shock MIP, the steel version. So, yeah, because it was time for the JLC. I didn't wear it in a long time. And I realized again, every time I wear it, I think it's such an amazing watch. It really disappears on your wrist because not only is it this super slim case, beautiful movement on the back, but also it just wears so comfortable. I have a wonderful strap from OptoWatch Co. It's a matte alligator strap on it, which really complements, it really matches the hands, which are blued hands, and it has some blue accents on the dial. It really looks super cool with this strap. So I'm super happy with this combination. It's just like, this is it. I don't understand why these watch brands put always such weird, boring straps on their watches. I think I have ranted about this before, but my Glashütte Original came on the most boring black leather strap. And it's a lovely gold Pano Reserve. It's beautiful and with a nice crocodile strap in, dark brown or something, a glossy one. It looks stunning, or green or blue or whatever. You can do anything with this watch, right? Just not black. It's so boring with it. Same with this one here. It came on a black crocodile strap, which was the previous owner has bought a new one, a brand new one from JLC, which is, it's a lovely strap. It's just very boring on the black strap. It's just boring. So this blue with the sector dial in silver and this blue hands and the blue accents on the dial, it's just so much nicer, I feel. But anyhow, I don't know. Sometimes you feel watches could be so much better sold if you show them as well with different straps, especially dress watches, right? On their website. And then their websites, it's another topic. We should, I have a good topic. We should crown the worst and the best watch brand's website, just from the website.
That's a great idea. We could very quickly get into this because Rolex shit, Tudor shit, JLC shit, Cartier shit, Zenith extremely shit, Omega extremely shit. Am I missing something? Like it's as if they have.
I find it okay. Panerai is also shit. Vacheron Constantin, I like it.
I don't really visit the Vacheron website very often, so I don't know about that one. So I'll leave that to your better judgment.
Oh, it's okay.
Casio also shit. Seiko, terrible.
What I find sometimes totally weird is you search for a specific watch. You know it's in the catalog still.
But you can't find it.
And you can't find it.
Yeah.
You click on more or something, right? And it still just doesn't appear. And then you search for it and there it is, right?
I'm trying to think if there's a website that isn't shit. So that's my main concern is there something that is better than we think?
Let me show you.
It has to be a modern company, a forward-thinking company. I'm thinking maybe the Moser website's not shit. I don't know. I haven't been. I'm just guessing that would be a company that could possibly have a good one.
That's a very good question.
No, it's kind of shit. It's just the same as everything else. And you go and you click on, collections. And it's just a bunch. It's a white page. And then the watches are just, these renderings. Or, I don't know. It's not very good. Oris is pretty good. So if you go to Oris, everything is pop-down menus. So you open it up. Here, let me share my screen with you. I think so you can see.
What I always find super funny is this pre-selection, right? When, like Moser does. It says like, okay, here's our streamliners. But wait a second. Here's our streamliners. There are like 7 of them.
Yeah.
And then you have the button Discover Full Collection. I don't understand this, right? I also don't understand the way of Omega just showing you really everything in the kitchen sink, which is also a bit much.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then sometimes you have the collection and then you don't see everything and then you have, it's just weird.
So for here's what I want. This is exactly what Oris did is what I want to see. You open it up. There's a big moving, Oris. And right under our collection, you don't click on anything. You don't go anywhere. It's right there. And then Atelier, Heritage, Big Crown, Aquis, Divers, Pro Pilot, X, Pro Pilot. That's it. That's their collections. You want to click on one of these? Let's go for Heritage, one model. I'm not going to go for that one then. Big Crown.
You already know it's 37 models, yeah.
There you go. And it tells you 37 models, prices for everything are front and center. Yeah. This is what I would like in a website.
Yeah, and you see watches, and if you click on one watch, please, on the tuxedo there in the middle, there, or bullseye as it's called there, big one. Because I just want to see, okay, so they have detailed video. Then click on the other images, please. Then you have.
And these are like Hodinkee style on the wrist pictures.
Yes. Somebody who wears the watch. Then you have a detailed shot of the dial. Then you have a detailed shot of the movement.
And they're not renderings. They're not renderings. They're actual pictures.
Because there are more. There's
Lume
a Lume shot even. There's 2 other detailed shots. There's more movement shots. There's a lot of different angles and all of the stuff. So you have it covered. So that's about how many pictures? 8? Something like that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 plus a video. No, this one's the video, I'm guessing.
9 plus video. Perfect. So let me show you a different example.
Okay. Let me end sharing.
Yeah.
How do I do this? There it is. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Now I need to start sharing. Wait a second. Not that I'm pressing the wrong button. Here, this one. Share. That is Tutima Glashütte, a German example. It's unfortunately, right? So, okay, let me accept the cookies. So you have a beautiful video of how they're making the watches, which is great. But then you go and say, well, I want to see the watches. So you click on collection. So you have these tiny, tiny, tiny images there. And I want to see the Patria because there's a new one, right? Patria, you click on this one. Okay. I want the blue one. Click on the blue one. So that's it. That's it. It's like you know what? It's like a wanted picture, right? Watch, strap, frontal view, no background whatsoever, and the specs of the watch, right? Mm-hmm. And that is it. Now, I want to share.
By the way, while you're saying this, Tutima got me into looking at Nomos's website. That's also shit.
But I just wanted to share with you. Can I just share this? Just this. Yeah. So this is how Monochrome Watches made an article about this watch. Do you see the watch? You have the article. You have all of these shots. There must be coming from Tutima, right? So
but they won't put them on there. Exactly.
But they don't put them on their website. And you think, why do you have the worst website in the world and you have these beautiful shots of the watch itself, which actually looks so much nicer if you see it like this, right? With an angle and not just full frontal where you have no idea how it looks like, and a bit more details. It's a beautiful watch. I've seen it in person and I thought, incredible. How could I have not seen it? This is, by the way, I think it's a titanium case with this super high polish. Wonderful watch. But on the website, you would go, I passed, right? And you think this is such a one of the examples of bad. I mean, we had a lot of bad. But what is Nomos?
Nomos also terrible. It just, you scroll down and it does all of the moving stuff, right? Where everything is moving. And then, so scroll down. And then, what the frick? No, go back up. What is this above this? So scroll down past the video. And then it says, like, news articles. I don't want your fucking news articles. Like, what? If I want news articles, I would go to a reliable third-party source, not you, Nomos. So it's like as if they were a watch, like Hodinkee, and they're reviewing their own watches.
Yeah. Well.
And then they have some watches at the bottom, 13 model families. But why are you? And then if you keep going, it's just, I don't know, like lots of videos, lots of blurbs.
And I mean, at least there's a lot happening on this website. Is at least a website where you have a lot to see, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see any of this.
Research and development, the tradition, the calibers. I like that. That's good. If you want to go to the watches, you can actually click on the top left watches and just go directly into the menu and you want to see the Autobahn, you see the Autobahn. Want to see the club? It's still my favorite. I still want it. I still want the club.
So I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna.
I want the club.
Or you can do this. By the way, why don't you?
Club Sport, Club Sport Neomatic.
I
found it.
Yeah, we've discussed why all of this is crap, right? Mm-hmm. Why all of these people's websites are terrible, or that they are terrible. Go to Apple's website. Let's see what a good website looks like. If it is good, I don't know.
It's the next question.
So are you in the Apple Store or are you on the Apple? What are you? Apple.com, right?
I'm just on Apple.com. Yeah.
Okay. My Apple looks different than your Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll down.
This is apple.com/AE, so it's our local one.
Yeah, I was on AE as well, but mine looked totally different. Something's different. I'll show you what I went to the Apple Store. I apologize. And do go to apple.com/AE/store.
Yeah.
And then look right at the top. Boom. All the product lines immediately with pictures. And then
what just saying like, hey, I want to buy a touchpad. Let's say you want to buy the external touchpad. So you go on accessories, but you see there a phone and a watch. So what to do? So let's see accessories. But it's not accessories. It's stands and other things. And you go, travel ready, work from home. Work from home. And suddenly you find
touchpad is under work from, or trackpad you say, but yeah.
Trackpad. They say trackpad. I would say touchpad. Yeah, trackpad.
Work from home, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, not the greatest one, but
just put the little, what I do lots of times is I just don't even bother with menu navigation. I just search for it. Type in.
There are places where you can't even find the search bar.
The magnifying glass, yes,
and correct. It's freaking like hidden somewhere, and it's unbelievable how difficult it is to find something.
Also, what I found very interesting is the discontinued watches from Omega, right? Let's say you're going to Chrono 24. You find a old Omega from whatever, let's say 2000. Oops, not 200. Oh, right, yeah, we have here one, for example, a Speedmaster Professional. And once you have the number, right? The number, and you go to Google and you say just Omega and this number, you always have one of the top.
I think this one is too far old.
Too old, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it needs to be.
If it's in the last 20 years.
Exactly. This one was too old for that.
Yeah.
Yes, I get your point. And it will go to the Omega webpage where it used to be, and it will tell you this product is no longer available.
Yeah, but there's no way you to find this watch on the Omega website. And maybe if you put in the number, the reference number in the search field somewhere, maybe you find it. But Google somehow has this cataloged and you can get into it, which I find very helpful because you get a lot of background information of the watch, right? The watch specs, the PDFs of the watch and all of this stuff. So I like this. IWC has also done something which discontinued watches. Problem there is sometimes if you're looking for a specific watch, like I had a specific watch that had a Portofino chrono, and I wanted to try to find it. And it wasn't so easy because it was a special or an edition that was discontinued. And I think they have the discontinuous date in, you have to choose the dates. You go to 2012, 2013, 2014, and then you find maybe your watch there. And they didn't have a good search, but now I think the search works much better. To see the old watches, it's important. I feel that people who you still have these watches, it's nice to see the details if you want to look them up, right, of your old watch.
Yeah, I enjoy this. I think it's nice to have official, information
about the watch. Yeah, instead of going to third-party sources, I find that really helpful. Same with Breitling and their old chronomats, right? They just released new ones, so the old ones are gone from the website, right? Mostly. By the way, Breitling is actually an example of a relatively good website. You can say about the watches what you like. Well, see here, you have, of course, some news, and then you have collections. Plop.
I don't like the colors, but that's my issue.
That's what I'm saying. Functionality-wise, you can say about the watches what you want, but you see, for example, now you go to Chronomart, and I'd see all the new ones, right? The old ones are gone. So that's a problem. You can't see the old ones anymore. Mm-hmm. Because now the new ones have these, they don't have these, how do you call this? They have a lovely name, these little things here on the indices, the quarter hour indices or quarter minute indices, the 15, 40. They had these little hooks around the bezel. They were screwed in, right? And now they are part of the bezel. A lot of people have said, okay, this is now cost saving because the bezel is just now a bezel, one piece.
Yeah.
Before it was 10 pieces because everything there was a screw in it. There was things on it. It was just more complex. And now it's a bit simpler. I still like it.
Meanwhile, speaking of bezels, totally randomly, I learned a new thing. Did you know that the Omega Speedmaster in 1957 was the first chronograph to move the tachymeter scale to the bezel?
No,
Apparently, before this, the Omega Speedmaster was apparently the first sports chronograph. Before then, chronographs existed. However, the chronographs that existed were gentlemen's chronographs, 36 millimeter Patek, and they might have a tachymeter scale, but everything was inside the dial. So everything was kind of very shrunken down. So it was extremely hard to read. So when Omega released the Speedmaster, they moved the tachymeter to the outside, making the dial bigger and making it more easy to read. And apparently this is the design language that everyone kind of stole going forward as the de facto racing chronograph, which I had no idea. So the Waco made a big video about this, about the Speedmaster, came out a couple days ago. And I had no idea. At this point, I didn't know that there would be something I could learn about the Speedmaster, but this was news to me. Yeah. So apparently it was the first sports chronograph, and everything before it was, Pateks and stuff like this that were all internal tachymeters that were hard to read.
Interesting, because I just have searched on Chrono24 for chronographs from 1950 to 1963. And so far, I haven't seen, I've seen tachymeter scales, especially from Omega, Lemania, and so on. They're all inside on the dial, as you said.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they don't have a bezel at all.
Did you ever think of this? This never crossed my mind.
The chronographs don't even have a bezel. Did watches not have a bezel?
No, but they had to, because in 53 we got the Submariner. So, and the Blanc Pan.
That's what I'm saying.
So dive watches had, but it seems like chronographs did not.
Da we have a Junghans Bundeswehr chronograph that has a bezel, but it's a timing
bezel. But it looks like a rotating 60-minute bezel.
Yeah, it is.
So it doesn't really, and it was stainless steel, right? Well, I guess the 1957 Speedmaster was also stainless steel, right? It was before they went black.
Yeah, here I have a Favre Löber Sea Sky, which is also, see when you have these telemeter,
but once again inside. So I don't know why nobody thought of this.
Yeah.
Good on you. Good on you, Omega. Coming up with something new.
And yet. No, but it's nice.
Because this look at whatever that is right here in the set to the left of that one, to the left of the bottom third one on the bottom. That one right there. Click. No, the one. That one. This is exactly what chronographs used to look like. This is just some Olma, I don't know what. But this, everything were concentric circles within the dial. Everything was very lightly painted on, and it was just extremely difficult to read, right? So.
Yeah, because you had these little roads there. You have one here is the seconds, then the other one is whatever that is.
You might get pulsation dials as well, right? So you would get pulsations, telemeter, tachymeter. So they really, really just put a bunch of stuff. And then the whole thing is 36 millimeters. So it really shows you how, cramped everything would be. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I'm wondering how good people's eyesight was. Did they all,
there it is, 36. Yeah.
35 even, yeah.
35. My eyesight wasn't good enough to read that.
But I find this fascinating of how people could just, read all of this.
But the same thing goes with Doxas, right? Remember, nowadays, dive watches, big. And look back in the 60s, Doxa was the original kind of dive watch. Same with the original Submariner. Those were 37 mm, and they were small. The Doxa, if you look at the dial size, the case was 42 because it was a cushion case, but the dial itself was tiny. And just how in the hell you're seeing this underwater, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder that sometimes it's really surprising of how people did this. But I wanted to just draw your attention to watches that are big. Here, that is a proper chronograph. It's a Breitling Navitimer, 46 millimeters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, chunky monkey. And I don't know how broad this bracelet is, which I just showed you.
I'm assuming
but it looks like it's
26 mm or something. I don't know. Look at it. Does it say? Like it's going to say somewhere in there. It'll say right there on the straps, compatible straps, it'll say.
Yeah, you can see it's luck with 24. 24. Okay.
But it tapers down to 20.
Nah, then you're good.
Jeez Louise. Anywho, but so we agree, most watch websites suck.
Yeah, and this is a good segue because recently I saw somebody wearing a Navitimer, an old Breitling Navitimer. So I try to also, every time I go out and I'm just bored, sometimes you look around in your shopping malls or something else, and you look at the people's wrists, right? And you're trying to figure out what are people wearing. So recently I've spent a lot of time in hospitals, right? In waiting areas, waiting for my wife and other things there happening. And what I've seen in these waiting areas is interesting watches sometimes. You read a lot of people don't wear a watch. You'd see a lot of people wearing just fashion quartz watches. But you also see sometimes some nice Rolexes. You need some, I've seen some nice APs. I mean, it might be that I've been in a very posh hospital and it's Dubai after all, right? But and you see a very, very normal cross-section of the society in hospitals, right? Usually. Unless it's a beauty clinic or something, then it might be different. But it's, I found this interesting to see. And I find it shocking of how many people don't wear watches anymore.
Yeah. So I would say the 99%, we start with this, right? When you go out in the wild, I would say 90% of people don't wear watches at all, right? Maybe not 90, sure, but the vast majority do not wear watches. And this bothers me. They may have a smartwatch of some sort, right? A Garmin or an Apple Watch or
some fitness tracker.
God forbid a Samsung. But something along those lines on their, on their wrists. But I think, it is very, very unlikely that they're wearing what we consider, a luxury watch, which I hate the term luxury watch because I don't think there's very much luxury about my, Tudor Pelagos, right? Doesn't say anything luxury related, but still, I don't know, let's just say last 12 months, how many people have I seen wearing watches? And these are, once again, watches that are what we consider as enthusiasts watches. I can count, aside from Dubai Watch Week, I can count probably on one hand how many I've seen in the wild. Specifically, two stand out in the last couple months. One, I mentioned already the story. It was a friend of mine's brother. I was at their house. I have known the brother for a very, very long time. And I looked down at his wrist and I'm like, he's wearing an Oris. And it was an Oris Divers 65 in the 36 mm size, which you don't see 36 mm, right? Like that is an extremely hard size to find. And then he went down and told me how hard it was to find that specific size. 38s are, available. The 40s were available. 42s were available. 36s were extremely difficult because that was the original size. So they made a few limited editions. He was saying that did the original size. One was, I think, the last like hurrah for the Divers 65 before they now changed it to just the Divers. That was one of them, and that's the one he was able to get. And so he was telling me about how hard it was to find and hunt down this 36 millimeter Oris, which I thought was super cool. And then we proceeded to have
that's already a watch nerd, right? When he's basically, hunting after a specific watch that he wanted.
But he said he had the 38 the cotton candy with the stainless steel case, and which was the second V2 of the cotton candies, right? There was the bronze ones that my wife had, the pink dial. And then he said the green dial with the stainless steel, which came a little bit after. And then he said the 38 he felt was still too big, which I agree because I wore the 38 and the 36 is perfect. But my main concern was, if you remember the Oris Divers watches, whatever they called them back in the day, because they didn't call it the Divers 65, they had a very, very cool inverse loomed dial. Do you remember this? Where essentially it was like a very Art Deco 12369, and it was a square of loom, and the numbers were the negative space in the loom. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I think I have
these
an
were
idea,
the original ones. I make showing pictures, sir. I make showing.
Yeah.
Let me find it first. Oris.
You search this, and I talk generally more about watches that I see a lot.
I've already found it.
A lot of watches that I see for the ladies is you see a lot of Datejusts. I was surprised about
this. By the way,
especially
this when they had this thing where the dial was opposite. So
yes,
12369.
I know what you mean, but they still have it, right? Or is it just the anniversary?
No, this is gone now because the Divers 65 is discontinued.
Yeah, but this is an anniversary.
No, this is the limited edition one. But they made one with a date window. I think the date window.
So basically, you have a block of Lume, and there's the.
Yeah, not a block painted, but you see the date window is down here at the 6.
Yeah, I mean
right above the 6 o'clock marker.
There's something taken out. So basically, negative.
Nonetheless,
how often have you seen an Oris in real life? Except this one, right?
I've seen 2. One of them, I don't know if you do this too, but my wife will show me a picture on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Right. And I'll see someone, some random person, and I'm like, maybe it's her friend's husband or something.
Yeah.
And the first thing I look is, you look at the watch, and I zoomed in, and all I saw was a clasp. But Oris on this was another Diver 65. It says Oris on the clasp itself, and I was able to determine that. So 2 times, one virtually, one in vivo. I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, I've been for a couple of business meetings recently, spent a lot of time in hotel lobbies, sitting, waiting, or having a conversation. And sometimes, especially in, nice 5-star hotels, you see, of course, a lot of nice watches in this environment, right? And I checked with my friends who were visiting here when they visit Dubai, and I said, look, hey, take a look. I mean, they're watch people, so it's a bit different. But I asked them, so what's on your pool? So what did you see on the pool? And they say it's 80%, 90% Rolex.
Yeah. But this is why, once again, I no longer view Rolexes as enthusiast watches, right? I'm more likely to see an Oris or a Tudor or something else because nobody really gets these as status pieces, but people buy Rolexes just to be a status piece. I'm wearing a Rolex.
Maybe it just comes with the territory. If you come to expensive 5-star hotels, have a nice vacation and a peak time, so you obviously have a lot of money because that's not cheap. So maybe people just buy wear the Rolex because it's also
what you're supposed to have.
Yeah. It's just part of the game, part of the
part of the ensemble, right? So this, I mean, you look at these bank traders and everything, they all have to have a Rolex GMT, right? It's a part of their uniform. And this is,
Christian Bale in this meeting. What was it?
No, Christian Bale in what was it? He was wearing a Seiko.
Yeah, I know, but or he was wearing, but the movie talked about it being at Rolex.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a Datejust, but for some reason they couldn't get the date. I don't know what it was, but it was a two-tone Seiko that was like a spitting image of a Datejust, which I thought was, everyone thought was funny,
but it was,
but still. It was, supposed to be a Rolex.
Was it American Psycho? What was this?
American Psycho, yeah. Christian Bale, good watches, right? Because in Batman, he wore JLC. He had a Reverso, which was supposed to show, it was a dual face Reverso, which was supposed to show his dark side and his light side as Batman and whatever.
Did anybody look if he actually wore the Reverso under his Batman suit?
No, nobody checked. But
if still, if you're on the dark side, you need to swap the dial, right? I mean, obviously
over the neoprene suit, you need a diver's extension, I guess. But so yeah, I saw the Oris, and then I saw one other watch.
I'm just when we talk about Batman, I have all of these actors that actually played Batman. And I can't get my head around of how many diverse actors played Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Christian Bale, you have George Clooney, you have, what's his name? Ben Affleck. Then you have, what's the guy who also played Birdman? Michael Keaton. And you have so many interesting actors who played Batman.
Yeah, same with 007.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, but no, back to what I was saying. I did see one other watch on vacation. That was not a sports watch, or sports watch. Sorry, what the hell do you call them? Smartwatch, and it was in the pool, and I immediately was like shaking my head. It was a Speedmaster, a Moonwatch, in the pool.
If it's a current model Omega watch, Omega says in their FAQs that you can go and take it in the water. Mm-hmm.
It was a current model. You could tell because of the bracelet. And I still wouldn't.
It's a man who loved adventure.
No, not for me. Not for me. Speedy stays home when there's water in the air.
Yeah. I think you have to take Omega there by the word. If they say that the current model, the current production models are actually saying what they do, and they mean what they say. So it's like 50 meters means 50 meters. You can take it underwater, 50 meters. You can do water activities.
Yeah.
So,
but as soon as you press a pusher accidentally, because they're not screw down, or you're screwed.
You shouldn't, but it could still work, right? Depending on the gaskets. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. But I did see that, and I was surprised more so by the pool it being in the water than I was surprised by the Speedmaster. But also, Speedmaster is not exactly a watch that you see very often.
That is also very true. And this is crazy because there must be millions of them around, right?
Where are they? I don't know.
Yes, I don't see these people wearing them. It's very true. I see it, of course, on watch meetups. You see that. You see a lot of people showing their Snoopies on WhatsApp and Instagram and everywhere. But you hardly see it in the wild, really, people wearing it.
Yeah. So in this case, and which is funny, is I think most people shy away from the manual wind. If you're an average Joe, you're not going into an Omega boutique and saying, yes, let me wind my vintage looking, Hesalite crystal chronograph every single day. No, they're going to want these, whatever, Seamaster 300M. And that's good enough for them, right? So I think that is what they should go
watch
for.
Nerds, we are romanticizing it. We are saying, well,
of course.
Look, this is a watch that needs your input. Otherwise, it dies and withers away. So you need to actually keep it alive. You have to wind it. And this interaction with your watch once a day is just such a bonding experience. And it's, anyhow, we are saying this. But what I see very often is G-Shocks and general Casios and Citizens and these kind of watches. I see that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we haven't got, so once again, we've said Rolexes are very, very prevalent. We're not talking For instance, Explorers. I do not see Explorers, hence why I kept my Explorer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Rolexes we see all the time are, number one is going to be Datejusts, right? Datejusts are a dime a dozen. They are everywhere. Women, men, everyone.
Mostly for women. I see them mostly on women, I must say.
I would say if I see a woman, let's say, teaching at university, locals, there is 3 watches that can be on their wrists. Because once again, these students are not exactly struggling for cash, so they do have watches, quite nice ones. So the 3 in local culture that I've seen, Datejust, generally a 2-tone Datejust, is number 1. Number 2 is the Omega Constellation. They absolutely love it. Also in 2-tone, generally a 2-tone constellation, mother of pearl dial, diamond dial. And number 3, something Cartier. So generally it's going to be a Cartier Panthère.
As well, yeah.
And that can be, once again, solid stainless steel, 2-tone. I don't see any solid gold stuff, right? But generally 2-tone or stainless steel. Those 3 for women, I see that all the time.
That is true.
Rolexes for men, Sub, GMT, Daytona. And this is secondary to Datejust, right? I do see a lot of Datejust. And then those 3 are the ones that I see. Maybe a Yachtmaster as well. Those 4. What I don't see, I do not see Explorers. I would say that's something I rarely see. I do not see Oyster Perpetuals. That's something I rarely see. And I don't see any Yachtmaster 2s because nobody buys them.
You don't see any 1908?
I don't, and never, not once have I seen a 1908 in the wild.
I have seen one.
Nor the predecessor.
Yeah.
Even the predecessor I didn't see in the wild ever.
And this, I think my eyes popped out of my skull. So that's why the person was probably aware that I was staring at his wrist. And I was like, I just was just like,
I've seen
thumbs up and walked past. 4
sea dwellers.
Right.
In the wild. One was a deep sea, which the massive black dial one. The other 3 were all sea dweller. One was ceramic bezel, the sea dweller, the 4K, the old 40 millimeter one. And then 2 were
That's a very nice watch. I love that watch.
It is. And that one was only made for like a year and a half. Super cool. I had the opportunity to buy one. I didn't buy it. I still kind of regretted it, but now that I don't like date windows, that's gone. And then I saw 2 with aluminum bezels. And those were, the previous generations. And those are cool too. So, sea dwellers, I think surprisingly, I saw quite a few of, but nonetheless, I'm surprised. And I think the reason the average Joe would buy a sea dweller over a sub is back in the day, they didn't want the Cyclops. So people look at the Cyclops, say, yeah, I don't want that on my watch. And then, of course, the deep sea, as well as the 3 sea dwellers I saw, all don't have Cyclopses.
So you want a date, but you don't want to date the Cyclops.
Cyclops, exactly, because it's too
the sub
ostentatious.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I asked 2 or 3 of these people why they got this specific watch, and all of them said the same thing. Oh. They didn't want the Cyclops. So I think that's a trend.
I really think this is just a nice watch, because I think the Cyclops does take away sometimes a bit. I mean, I have the sub, so it's with the Cyclops, but it's sub date. You have to say sub date. The normal sub has no date.
In the past, the sub no date was also something that was rare, kind of a rarity, but I've been seeing more and more of those as well, because I think they're readily more available than the date.
Yes.
And people now are just buying whatever they can get.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
I've seen
Rolex.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned.
I have seen it do a few IWCs actually. A few pilots.
Well, what I have
the bigger ones, the 43. I've seen them a few times. Yeah.
The big Pilot 43?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
pilots
have
or chronograph, or
never
just
seen.
pilot watching. If you look at IWC's website, they have how many IWC pilot style watches? 100 different ones, probably. There's so many of them. So,
Couldn't tell you.
yeah, a lot. So,
I see, as you said, you mentioned this already, lots of Casio.
yeah.
Casio, I see across the board, right?
Yes.
Everything from your F91W all the way to your, G-Shocks. I have never seen a metal G-Shock in public. I've seen, I would say even the G-Shock squares, I probably don't see very often. What I do see is, these bigger, Mud Masters and these random stuff. I see a lot of those.
And the colorful ones. You see a lot of
and lots of colorful ones. Yeah. Red ones, lots of red ones.
Red, yes, it's true.
Yeah,
red and yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. These two I see a lot of.
Sporty.
Seikos? What about Seikos?
Yeah, I think Seikos you also see a lot, but you don't realize very often, right? Because you have some Seikos that look like a Cartier. You have some Seikos, the normal square ones. Then you have some that look like, quartz watches, just normal analog quartz watches, where you can't really tell sometimes what brand it is. But I think Seiko, and you see a lot of Seiko divers, I think.
So exactly what I was going to say. Seiko divers, Seiko 5, kind of the now that we don't have SKXs, right? The new SKNS, I think it is, or whatever the hell the new ones are. I see a lot of those. And I think a lot of people are saying, oh, I want an entry level automatic wristwatch. I want it to be sporty and I want it to be cheap. And the Seiko 5 divers, or quote unquote divers, right? Because they're not technically divers anymore. Diver style watches. That is where most of these people do go.
Yeah, but are they cheap? That's the next question.
Right? I think they're about $300 if memory serves. Let me go into Amazon real fast. A Seiko.
But Amazon is Seiko 6 there's now. SKX and SNXS. Yeah, okay, my goodness.
Yeah. 900 dirhams for the blue and red bezel variety. All black, 1,000 dirhams, 1,005 dirhams.
It's about, let's say, 400 to 500.
995 for the blue.
Yeah.
So 999 for the orange. So yeah, they're all about 1,000.
So they start at $250 for the simpler ones, the 5 Sports. They're called Seiko 5 Sports, right? And then
this is what I'm looking at.
You go up to a couple of hundred more, double the price, 500, 600 if you have certain ones, but that's the price range.
And then you can go up to the Prospex if you want. I'm looking at a Samurai, Prospex Samurai 41 millimeter blue for 1,800.
Where we talked about the Bumblebee, right? The Tudor, the chronograph 39 millimeter with a yellow dial. I saw recently somebody wearing the Seiko 5 with the yellow dial, the dive watch with the rubber strap.
Yeah.
That is also
the Monster. No, the Monster was orange.
No, it's a Seiko 5. It's a Seiko 5.
So, so Seikos I do see out and about. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. I haven't seen that one before. Yeah.
It's the SRPL83. Maybe that changes if I click on this here. Maybe it doesn't. It is the SRPL87K1. $390. It's a nice dive watch. It's yellow.
It's a shame. It really is a shame that the SKX is gone. Those were proper 200-meter dive watches, right? And now these are no screw-down crown, 100-meter water resistance. 100's enough, but still, you just went from a proper watch to a dive-style watch, and that kind of upsets me a little bit, but no big deal.
It upsets you a little bit. What
else do you see?
What else do I see? I think I sometimes, of course, in the shopping malls here, especially, and of course, in Dubai again, you see, depending where you are, if you go to the Fashion Avenue and all of this stuff, you see really nice watches sometimes. Yeah, people wear some elegant watches. Same if you're going for nice dinners in nice restaurants. Obviously, you see a bit more. Here, everybody wears their stuff without having to hide it. So it's, it's very safe. So you have no problems. But I must say, back in Germany, if I look at my friends who are not necessarily watch nerds, there's also some really nice watches that they're wearing, right? So there's the one Nomos, there's then a couple of Rolexes, some really lovely ones. So some people you could even say they're not really collectors, but they do appreciate their nice watches and have a nice collection without calling themselves a collector, right? There's really lovely watches around. There's also sometimes vintage Omegas and other things. I mean,
I forgot about this. I do see quite a bit of generally on the British people, older Seamasters, not Seamaster diver watches, the old Seamaster, dress watches, similar to what you had. That was really old, but it's true. Like these 50s, these 50s, 60s watches that were somehow given to them by God knows who, and fathers, grandfathers.
I think you also see these watches that are given to you at a specific, like for your wedding or something. When people married quite early, and you get a 36 millimeter Seamaster quartz. Right? Yeah. These kind of watches, you see them still on a lot of people's wrists because they don't die.
I've
extremely robust, and they're probably.
I've seen a few of those. The kind of the 1997 James Bond, Pierce Brosnan kind of watches, blue wave dial Seamasters. I've seen a couple of those floating around as well. Those are generally pretty good.
But then
we have, I have to say, Elaine and Dubai are entirely polar opposites, right? We don't see, if I go to the nicest restaurants, which we have one of, right? Still no watches really. I do see a lot of, Calvin Klein, Diesel.
Yes, you see a lot of fashion.
D Milano or whatever, D1 Milano or whatever the hell they're called. All of this crap. What?
They're quite popular. D1 Milano. They have cool designs. Also with the
cool designs that are stolen from everyone else. Those designs,
but inspired.
Inspired by someone else.
It's like the typical mall impulse buy. When people go in the mall and see oh, that's cool, I buy it because it's not very
Imagine being, I mean, this is one thing. I do believe as watch enthusiasts, we are cursed, right? Yeah. Imagine being able to go to a mall and for 200 dirhams, pick up a watch and being happy with it and content with it and enjoy it. I mean, this is the issue, right?
I have a Boyol Pop for 75 dirhams.
Yeah. That'll last you 2 days before you get tired of it, but still, it's a curse.
But I have to show you something. Just wait for it for a second. I know I'll just do it another time. But what happens if you actually take this watch on this bracelet thing, right? And it's in it because it's of course hollow, right? It's a round thing. So if you have the watch on your wrist and you pull out the strap in order to take it off, if you pull too hard, then the watch will press onto your back of your hand, and then the watch will pop out.
Oh, nice.
I recently had a pong, and the watch flew away, and then ding, 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 ding. It was quite interesting. So anyhow, but it's not a big loss if it's only 75 dirhams. But it's what do I want to say? I think the worst thing I've ever seen was when I went to the peak of the Salt Bay time to Nusret. Yeah. And I think the cheapest car was a 911 Carrera S, right? That was the cheapest car in the valet parking there, right? And then you have, I've never seen so many Richard Milles in one restaurant, right? Unbelievable. And of course, people were spending money like mad at the time, but it was just wow. I mean, I was really feeling like the poor cousin of I mean, I couldn't believe of what kind of young people as well. I mean, maybe it was probably also the height of the crypto shit. And I was really, really surprised. I looked at the watches around and I thought, phew, I mean, I at the time was wearing a Sky Dweller, I think. And I thought I was really the most pedestrian in the entire restaurant. Unbelievable what we saw there. Millions.
Meanwhile, by the way, speaking of this, I was at the Fairmont, as we discussed in Fujairah, and a group of Chinese influencers showed up. No watches, not watch related. This is different related, right? Uh-huh. They all showed up in like a gang of cars, right? Every single one of them they had like 3 of them of the, what is it? GWC Great Wall Motors GWM tank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tank 600 or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. And, these are really not very good cars, right? Mm-hmm. And then nothing special, we'll put it that way. And then they all had 4-digit license plates from Dubai. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, imagine
the license plate is more expensive than your car.
I know. I'm blessed. Like I don't get it. And but they were immediately,
you're saying like, hey, come on. I mean,
100%. That's what it was. Like they had the money. But they wanted to do the patriotism thing. That's 100% exactly what it was. But it was so funny because they couldn't go anywhere without a selfie stick and
but that is unfortunately, it doesn't matter where influencers come from, but that is what they do.
But no, this is the thing that I noticed first and foremost was the car and the license plates, and each one of them had 4-digit plates, and I'm just like, and it wasn't like a Sharjah 4-digit plate, right? It was a Dubai 4-digit plate. So those definitely cost some money.
And for some person who doesn't know, the shorter the number plate number, the more expensive it is. So if you have a single-digit number plate, then you're very likely part of the royal family or very, very, very rich because these number plates are being auctioned by the government for charity. So these number plates sometimes get sold for tens of millions of dirhams. So even
of dollars, right? Even
dollars.
The most expensive one was the D5, which was 65 million dirhams.
The good thing is most of these auctions, when they're coming from the government, are going to charity. So that's a fantastic thing. There are other auctions where you just, or if you buy it from somebody on the market for number plates, then of course it doesn't go to charity. But yeah, there's this status. So if you have a random number plate like me, then it's a random number plate, right? But if you have 4 digits or something like that, then it's nice. Then it's better, right? And then you go 3 digits.
I don't know how much they cost. I have no idea how much a 4-digit plate costs. Obviously, even the numbers, if it was 2222 or whatever, 4 digits of that would cost more than if it was a random 4-digit code. But
I think if you go for 4 digits, you can get 8,000, 15,000 dirhams. You can get 4 digits. It's not that much.
Yeah, so it's not that much. Yeah,
$4,000. You get that. If you have a repeating 4-digit numbers like 1112 or what was it? Something like that. It's a bit more. Yeah, then it's probably 20 to 50,000. It's just also the number itself. If you have a Chinese who wants to have 88888 because 8 is a lucky number, right? Then that's
going to cost a lot. Yeah, and it depends on who you're bidding against, right? Because I'm assuming a Chinese person who wants 8888 is going to be bidding against a number of other Chinese people who also want 8888, and then they drive up the bidding, right? So just like with anything, if there's demand.
Correct. So if you're going and see, for example, 4739, Dubai number plate, K4739 costs you 25,000 for whatever reason. It's not specific rate. If you want 1896, then that costs you 47,000. So sometimes you can't.
And how much is a GWM tank going for?
That I don't know.
I think,
but it's 130,000, 140,000. I don't know if it's a tank.
I think it's the tank 500 is what it's called.
There's a 500.
One with a super ugly front. No, it wasn't the 500 either.
Then it's a 700, I guess.
No, it was definitely not the 700. What's the one with the hideous front?
I don't know. Is
it 300?
There's a 300.
300 is the hideous one. The one that looks like a Lada or something from the Soviet Republic. It does. It 100%. If you look at it, look it up, guys.
Yes,
GWM
you're
Tank
right.
300.
It
It looks like a Soviet
looks
era
Lada,
car.
Lada Niva.
Exactly. A lot of Niva vibes. 109,000 dirhams. So these people had like a 50,000 dirham plate on a 100,000 dirham car.
Yeah. Interesting. Priorities. The number plate is for life, right? You can take it with
by the way, it is though. It is. The number plate is for life, so you can take it. So
yeah, if you don't have a car registered in your name, you pay about, I think it's about 10 dirhams per month or something to keep the number plate yours and keep it alive. But otherwise, eventually you have to give it back if you're not using it, right? But if you have a car, you can always, of course, take it from one car to the next.
Yeah. So, anywho, I know we went off on another tangent here, but no watches on the Chinese influencers. So there was no watches there. So,
but I think in China we have this tendency to be against the ostentatiously showing off luxury at the moment, right? There's a bit of a wave against that recently. That's why also so many of the watch sales are a bit less now in China because they crack down on these kind of things.
But one other watch that I do see that I forgot to mention was the Swatch, the Moon Swatch. I see quite a few Moon Swatches. Random people.
Also for Moon Swatches, I see them a lot on ladies as well.
I don't think I've seen ladies. I've seen men.
Yeah. I've seen ladies. I haven't. Light blue and something on ladies' hands.
So that is something that I have definitely seen. So, anything else? Is that it?
No, that's it. But in general, you're surprised of sometimes how little you see. I mean, there's places where you see a lot, but then there's places where you see nothing, and you think, interesting.
And once again, if you try to go talk to the Rolex people, they don't know anything about the watches they're wearing. So I've done it too many times, and I would say if you see somebody with a Datejust or a Submariner on, there is no point in engaging them, because as I told you last time, I asked somebody about a Submariner. I told him, nice Submariner, and he goes, what are you talking about? It's a Rolex. That's the level of individual you are likely to come across in the wild. So if you see an Oris, if you see a IWC, if you see anything kind of else,
Longines,
by all means, Longines. I did see I just remembered, then I forgot again. What did I see? Oh, a Tudor Black Bay Pro. These are the kinds of watches you see and you can freely engage. And I guarantee you the person on the other end will be a watch nerd, right? Nobody goes out and buys a Tudor Black Bay Pro in this case without having researched that watch, right? Most Rolexes today are either bought for cachet.
I've seen it. But also one of the things with my American friends, I see a lot of micro brands. I see a lot of people who are really absolutely getting into this micro brand rabbit hole, right? Mm-hmm. But then, of course, they're also watch nerds, obviously, because
I haven't seen any in the wild micro brands.
So I've seen a few, Main watches. I've seen them. Then I've seen lots of these ones from the US, like Nodos. What's the other brand, which I always forget the name of? Yeah, no, Baltic.
I haven't seen any Baltics in the wild.
I had one, so that's me. But I wasn't.
So you did see one on your own wrist. That doesn't count.
Yep, that's true. And
but
there's another one, not Nodus, that are also very, very good. I forgot.
Anyway, the point of the story is there is very little that you're most likely going to see out in the wild. So this bubble that we live in, where we think everybody thinks like us and everybody's a watch enthusiast.
Yeah. And then everybody sees you walking in with your watch and thinks like, wow, that's a amazing watch. No, not going to happen.
It has the 36 millimeter, not the 40 millimeter, right? Nobody cares.
Yeah. So, a blue dial Submariner, that is white gold. No, nobody knows that.
Exactly.
Just
or I guarantee you, if you had a situation where you came in with a blue dial white gold sub or a PVD coated yellow Tissot PRX, the average Joe would think the PRX cost more.
Possible.
Not possible. I think entirely likely. They would think it's gold, and that would be the deciding factor. But anyway, so on that bombshell,
We see you or hear you next week.
Next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.